In this video, we'll review the seemingly simple rules of where fielders are required to be in NFHS baseball and the complexities that come with enforcing these rules. And while it sounds easy, umpires averaged a 64 on this week's quiz. So we'll start this video by reviewing the high school baseball rules, and after that, we'll work through the quiz to help you better understand how these rules apply in your games. Now, if you want to see how well you can do on this week's quiz before going through the review with me, you can find a link to it in the video description. Hi everyone, Patrick Farber from GHSA Baseball, Umpire Development, and Umpire Classroom, where we help umpires develop their knowledge and skills. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe to our channel and check out the rest of our videos. Also, if you want next week's case plays emailed to you, there's a link to sign up in the video description. Now, let's get started by breaking down Rule 1-1-4. At the time of the pitch, all fielders shall be on fair ground except the catcher, who shall be in the catcher's box. A fielder is in fair ground when at least 1 foot is touching fair ground. The penalty for this is an illegal pitch. So that seems simple, but there are several key words and definitions that we must understand. First, let's note that the rule says that a fielder is considered in fair territory so long as 1 foot is touching fair ground. This means we could have a first baseman holding a runner on with 1 foot in fair territory and 1 in foul. But what happens if the first baseman is standing completely in foul territory when the pitcher attempts a pickoff? Well, for that, we need to key in on the very beginning of the rule and then the associated definition. Remember, the rule says at the time of the pitch, and this goes with definition 2-28-3. Time of the pitch is when the pitcher has committed himself to delivering the pitch to the batter. So this means that any legal pickoff would be before the time of pitch, which leads us to understand that the fielder's position has no effect in this situation. But now let's go to the penalty and have a scenario where the pitcher does deliver a pitch and the first baseman is in foul territory. In this situation, we do have a violation of the rule, so we need to enforce the detailed penalty listed in the rule: illegal pitch. Okay, so maybe that's not the most detailed here in a rule, but let's go to the definition of an illegal pitch. Rule 2-18. An illegal pitch is an illegal act committed by the pitcher with no runner on base, which results in a ball being awarded to the batter. When an illegal pitch occurs with a runner or runners on base, it is ruled a balk. So we did have a violation of the rule, and the penalty is an illegal pitch. However, we need to always remember that an illegal pitch with a runner on base is always a balk, and we never combine the two penalties. So in this scenario, we don't add a ball to the count, but we do enforce the balk and award every runner 1 base. And don't forget Rule 6-1-1, penalty that says an illegal pitch and a balk are both an immediate dead ball. Now, going back to the rule, let's look at the one player that gets an exception about being in fair territory: the catcher. The rule says the catcher shall be in the catcher's box, but not much detail beyond that. However, the catcher's box briefly gets mentioned in Rule 6-1, which covers pitching. And while breaking down pitching positions, quick pitches, and ambidextrous pitchers, they decided it was a good time to throw in a seemingly random remark: the catcher shall have both feet in the catcher's box at the time of the pitch. So what should we do with this seemingly random rule? Well, there's only one thing to do with it: ignore it. Okay, so obviously I'm going to back that up with a little more explanation. First, let's look at the official baseball rules because their rules provide a lot better detail. Rule 5.02a. The catcher shall station himself directly back of the plate. He may leave his position at any time to catch a pitch or make a play, except that when the batter is being given an intentional base on balls, the catcher must stand with both feet within the lines of the catcher's box until the ball leaves the pitcher's hand. So what is important here is that unless they are throwing an intentional base on balls, official baseball rules say the catcher's box has no impact. And now that MLB and NFHS baseball both have the ability to award a base on balls without throwing pitches, this rule is pretty much completely irrelevant at the OBR level and should be thought of the same way at the high school level. If they aren't pitching an intentional base on balls, focus on your balls and strikes and don't worry about the catcher. And on a practical note, unless you're on a turf field, half the fields won't even have a catcher's box drawn to begin the game, and certainly on the other half, they're usually wiped out by the 4th inning. So again, just more reason to understand the historic purposes of this rule from before the no-pitch walks, and then the irrelevance it has to the modern game. Now, if you want to read a much more detailed breakdown of how this rule wasn't enforced when you did have to throw pitches, check out Jeff Sullivan's article in Fangraphs from 2017 titled "Goodbye to the Least Enforced Rule in the Rulebook." You can find it linked in the description, and it's a great read that will certainly get the point across that enforcing this rule is not where you'll shine as a good umpire at any level. So now that we've reviewed the rules, let's cover this week's case plays. Case play number 1. With R1 on first base, F9 cuts in behind R1 for a throw from F1, who is in contact with the pitcher's plate and receives a pickoff throw with both feet in foul territory. Is this A, this is a balk, B, this is an illegal pitch, or C, this is legal? The correct answer here is C. This is a legal play because, again, the only time the feet matter being in foul territory for a fielder is when we have a time of the pitch. In this scenario, we don't have a time of pitch because we have a legal pickoff. Case play number 2. With R1 on first, F3 has 1 foot in foul territory and 1 foot in fair territory when he receives a pickoff throw from F1. Is this A, this is a balk, B, this is an illegal pitch, or C, this is legal? The correct answer here is C. This is legal. Again, because we have a legal pickoff move, this means the pitcher never committed to delivering the pitch to the plate. Thus, we don't have a time of the pitch, which is when any rule about where the fielder stands would matter. Also, in this scenario, since it's 1 foot in fair territory, it wouldn't matter even if we did have a time of pitch here. Case play number 3. With no runners on base, F1 delivers a pitch while F3 is standing with both feet in foul territory. Is this A, this is a balk, B, this is an illegal pitch, or C, this is legal? The correct answer is this is an illegal pitch. First, because we have F1 delivering a pitch, that means we do have a time of the pitch, which at that point requires all fielders other than the catcher to have at least 1 foot in fair territory. In this situation, because F3 has both feet in foul territory, they're in violation of this rule. And the penalty for that is an illegal pitch, and since there's no runners on base, it does not become a balk. We'll enforce this by adding 1 ball to the count. Case play number 4. With no runner on base, F1 delivers a pitch while F3 is standing with 1 foot in foul territory. Is this A, this is a balk, B, this is an illegal pitch, or C, this is legal? The correct answer here is this is legal. While we do have a time of pitch, remember that a fielder having 1 foot in fair territory and 1 foot in foul territory puts them in compliance as being considered in fair territory. Case play number 5. With R1 on first, F1 delivers a pitch while F3 is standing with both feet in foul territory. Is this A, this is a balk, B, this is an illegal pitch, or C, this is legal? The correct answer here is this is a balk. We have F3 standing completely in foul territory when the pitcher commits to deliver the pitch, and at that point they are in violation of the rule. Remember, the listed penalty would be an illegal pitch, but because we have a runner on base, we're going to enforce a balk. So we'll award the runner 1 base, but we will not add a ball to the count. Case play number 6. With R1 on first base, F1 delivers a pitch while F3 is standing with 1 foot in foul territory. Is this A, this is a balk, B, this is an illegal pitch, or C, this is legal? Again, this is legal. We go back to the concept that if 1 foot is in fair territory and 1 foot is in foul territory, they're considered in fair territory and in compliance with this rule. Case play number 7. With no runners on base, F1 delivers a pitch. The catcher is positioned behind home plate with 1 foot in the catcher's box and 1 foot entirely outside of the box. Is this A, this is legal, B, this is an illegal pitch, or C, this is a balk? The correct answer is that this is legal. Because we do not have an intentional base on balls being thrown, we don't need to worry about the catcher's box. Where they are relative to the catcher's box really has no impact on the play, and they don't gain an advantage from it. The only thing that might benefit is that your catcher will hopefully do a better job of catching and receiving the ball. Don't worry about enforcing any penalties with this. Focus on your balls and strikes, not the catcher's box. Case play number 8. With no runners on base, F1 delivers a pitch. The catcher is positioned behind home plate with both feet outside of the catcher's box when the pitch is released. Is this A, this is legal, B, this is an illegal pitch, or C, this is a balk? The correct answer is that this is legal. Now, this question, a lot of you said that the correct answer was that this is an illegal pitch, but at the same time, on the last question, you said that that was legal. Well, let's look at the difference. The difference between the last question and this question is whether or not the catcher had 1 foot out of the catcher's box or both feet out of the catcher's box. But if you look at the rules, there's no difference between those two situations. The rules require that both feet would be in the catcher's box. But of course, we're not going to enforce that as you see done at every level. In these scenarios, you're better focused on the game and what the pitch is going to be, whether it's a ball or a strike, than focusing on where the catcher is standing. And realistically, you're more likely to have no catcher's box being visible or drawn than you are having a situation where the catcher's box is completely visible and the catcher standing entirely outside of it. So go back to focusing on your balls and strikes and not where the catcher is standing. So there you have it, our review of fielding positions in NFHS baseball. If you found this video helpful for you or your association, I'm always looking for new ideas for new videos or topics you would like to see, so feel free to send them my way in the comments or via email. Thanks again for watching, and as always, I look forward to seeing you on the field.